Imagine this scenario. It is a Tuesday evening. You have just finished a 9-hour shift. You are standing at the checkout line of your local grocery store. In your cart, you have a steak for dinner, some milk for your kids, and a gift card for your mother's birthday. You pull out your phone to pay. You tap it against the terminal, expecting the familiar, comforting sound of an approved transaction. But instead, the machine emits a sharp beep. The screen flashes a bright, glaring red. Transaction denied. Panic sets in for a brief second. You step aside and open your banking app. You look at your balance. You have over $12,000 sitting in your checking account. The money is absolutely there. You haven't been hacked. Your credit score is perfect. So why can't you buy your groceries? You open the notification that just popped up on your screen. You read the small grey text. Monthly carbon allowance exceeded for red meat purchases. And below that, gift card transactions restricted to approved vendors only. At that exact moment, a cold, terrifying realization washes over you. The numbers on your screen are not actually yours. You do not own your wealth. You merely have conditional permission to use it, and that permission can be revoked by a line of code in a microsecond. This is not science fiction. This is not a dystopian movie script. This is the exact financial infrastructure being built around you right now, piece by piece, while you are distracted by social media and political theatre. Welcome to the era of programmable money. To understand how we arrived at the brink of this financial prison, we have to look back. They did not spring this trap overnight. They boiled the frog slowly. It started in 1971, when the government severed the link between the dollar and physical gold. The moment money was no longer backed by a physical asset, it became an illusion. It became fiat, a currency backed by nothing but the violent enforcement of the state and the blind trust of the public. But even then, cash was still anonymous. A $100 bill in your pocket was still yours. Then came the digitization phase. Over the last 2 decades, they ran a brilliant psychological campaign to make us despise physical cash. They told us it was dirty, inefficient, used only by tax evaders and criminals. Just tap your card, they said. Just scan your phone. We blindly traded our privacy and autonomy for 3 seconds of convenience at the drive-through window. We voluntarily placed all our wealth into the centralized servers of commercial banks. But Apple Pay, Venmo, and Visa are just digital front ends for the old system. The final stage, the closing of the cage, is something entirely different. Enter the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. When politicians and bankers first pitched this to the public, they used clever, deceptive language. They used buzzwords like blockchain, innovation, and financial inclusion. They intentionally tried to confuse it with Bitcoin. But comparing a CBDC to Bitcoin is like comparing a prison cell to a private island. Bitcoin was engineered to separate money from the state, to give you decentralized, unconfiscatable property. A CBDC is the exact opposite. It is the ultimate centralization of power in human history. Under the current system, your money sits in a commercial bank. The government has to go through legal channels, get court orders, and deal with red tape to freeze your assets. A CBDC eliminates the commercial bank entirely. You hold an account directly with the central bank. The state is your bank. But absolute surveillance is only the surface level of the threat. The true horror, the mechanism that will change society forever, lies in a single word: programmability. Traditional money is neutral. A $20 bill does not care who you are, what you believe, or what you are buying. It is a bearer asset. It is blind. Programmable money is not blind. It is a smart contract disguised as currency. This means the algorithm, the issuer, can embed specific behavioral rules directly into the money itself. The money itself decides if you are allowed to spend it. The money judges you. Let us look at exactly how they plan to use this weapon against the middle class. Mechanism number 1. Expiration dates on your wealth. Imagine another economic crisis hits. The government decides the economy needs a stimulus. But instead of sending a check you can save, they deposit programmable tokens into your central bank wallet. The catch: the algorithm dictates that you must spend this money within 30 days. If you try to be responsible, if you try to save it for your family's future, or put it towards a down payment on a house, the money literally evaporates from your account at midnight on the 30th day. You are forced to consume. Building generational wealth becomes mathematically impossible by design. Mechanism number 2. Geographic fencing. Imagine a scenario where a new global emergency is declared, a pandemic or perhaps a climate crisis. Under the old system, governments had to set up physical roadblocks and deploy police to keep people in their neighborhoods. With programmable CBDCs, the roadblock is built directly inside your wallet. The algorithm simply disables your purchasing power if you travel more than 15 miles from your registered smart city zone. You could have a full tank of gas and $10,000 in the bank, but your money will simply decline at the toll booth. You are geographically locked by code. Mechanism number 3, the invisible social credit score. We have all watched what happened to dissidents, truck drivers, and protesters over the last few years. Their bank accounts were frozen by political decrees, but that required human intervention. It required a phone call to a bank executive. Programmable money automates the punishment. It removes the judge and the jury. If you post an unapproved opinion on social media, if you support the wrong political candidate, your wallet's algorithm will automatically restrict your access to the economy. You won't be able to buy a plane ticket. You won't be able to buy premium food. You will be economically exiled by an automated line of code. You might be asking yourself, how will they ever convince the public to accept such a tyrannical system? They will not force you at gunpoint. They are much smarter than that. They will offer it to you as a gift. When the next engineered financial crisis hits, inflation will destroy the purchasing power of the middle class completely. Millions will lose their jobs to artificial intelligence. People will be desperate. They will be begging the government for a solution, and the solution will be Universal Basic Income, UBI. The government will announce a massive relief program. Simply download the new Federal Reserve Wallet app, verify your digital ID, and receive 2,000 programmable dollars every month, guaranteed. It is the ultimate Faustian bargain, a deal with the devil. The desperate masses will download the app by the millions. They will trade their permanent financial sovereignty for a temporary digital handout. And once the vast majority of the population is locked into the CBDC system, physical cash will be quietly phased out and made illegal. The trap will permanently close. You must aggressively convert your paper illusions into hard, unprogrammable assets. Gold and silver, assets that have survived every empire and every currency collapse for 5,000 years. Land, agricultural property, things that possess intrinsic value regardless of what a digital screen says. And for the digital realm, Bitcoin, not a centralized crypto exchange, Bitcoin, held in cold storage on a hardware wallet that you completely control. A decentralized bearer asset that no central bank can freeze, program, or expire. You must become your own central bank. You must practice stealth wealth. Do not flaunt your assets. The algorithm targets those who are visible. We must build a parallel economy, an underground railroad of commerce completely outside the reach of the central bank digital currencies. The era of programmable control is not approaching, it is already here. The only question left is whether you will be a prisoner or an architect of your own escape. Subscribe to the channel, join the Silent Wealth Society. The exit is narrowing. Choose wisely.